In a cozy burrow, nestled beneath the roots of a grand oak tree, lived a young mouse called Mimi. Mimi had just experienced one of his coldest winters. After a hard winter of hibernation, he longed for the lightness of spring and the warmth of summer. Spring. After months of patiently waiting, Mimi decided that now was the time to re-emerge. He carefully climbed out of his safe burrow and was greeted by a beautiful awakening forest. The snow had disappeared, the air felt cool but comfortable, and the day's light lasted longer. The first signs of plush pink blossom began to appear on the branches. Mimi sighed. Finally, he thought. He lazily laid amongst the bluebells, gazing at the sea of green and purple. He took a deep breath, embracing the air's fragrance, smelling his favourite hints of wild garlic. He hummed a gentle tune while he listened to the cheerful songs of the birds returning from their winter migration. The meadow felt alive, a reawakening and a promise of a fresh start. Summer. As the days grew longer, the heat became sharper. Mimi the mouse now had to carefully plan his time around the beating heat of the sun. To manage, he'd snooze in the cool shade of the forest. He'd then dip his toes in the cool, calm river, the droplets of water glistening on his fur as it caught the sunlight. To stay hydrated, he snacked on juicy berries and ripe fruits, his belly full and his mind in a total state of calm. When the day became cooler, he climbed to the top of the tallest tree and watched the hazy sunset. In moments like these, he felt like king of the forest. Autumn. As the air started to cool, the leaves began to fall. The colours, changing from greens to rich yellows, orange and reds. Mimi danced through the leaves, his feet crunching on the forest floor. He scampered through the forest, collecting acorns and chestnuts. He watched in fascination as the squirrels busily gathered their winter stores, their cheeks bulging with nuts. Once he'd collected a sufficient load, he retreated back to his cozy burrow. He popped his feet up and wrapped up in a cozy blanket of leaves, and listened to the soft sound of the rain gently falling outside. Winter quickly approached. The change felt drastic compared to the months previous. The rain came crashing down, and the air became bitterly cold. Mimi nestled deeper into his burrow. He was grateful for his warm and cozy home. However, one day the rain stopped, and it was replaced by beautiful giant white snowflakes. Overnight, the once wet forest floor became submerged in a white winter blanket of its own. Mimi eagerly wrapped up and ventured outside of his burrow. His cold, tiny feet stepped onto the deep, fresh snow, leaving a little trail of footprints as he scurried excitedly. He spotted some of his forest friends, and together they built a snowman, had a playful snowball fight, and skated across the frozen pond. And so, as the sun set behind the mountains, casting a warm glow over the forest, Mimi fell asleep with a smile, dreaming of the magical adventures that awaited him in the land of springtime. And as the seasons changed and the cycles began anew, Mimi realised that each season held its own magic. From the blooming flowers of spring to the snow-covered landscapes of winter, Mimi knew that he would always find joy and adventure in the ever-changing world around him. Good night, Mimi, and sweet dreams.